Hello and happy Sunday. Despite the weather, we do have some rain falling over a good portion of the area this morning, and certainly looks like the showers will taper off a little bit later on, but some big changes in the weather as cooler air is on the way. And this is going to be the rainiest system we have seen here since July. So the rain is much needed in many areas. Rain continuing this Sunday. Might want to grab the umbrella if you're headed out to church here during the morning. Windy, some gusts could reach 30 to 40 miles an hour, especially right at the lakeshore here during the day. It'll be a dry Monday, but more showers will move in Monday night, and they will continue into at least Wednesday. Cooler weather for this coming week. In fact, the coolest weather that we've had since early May. The rain will continue here across the area with just some spotty showers here for that Tuesday through Wednesday period. All right, let's take a look at some high temperatures today. Look at Detroit and Hillsdale, 82 degrees Saturday afternoon. Wow, 75 Kalamazoo. It was a little cooler as you went northwest. Grand Rapids stopped at 71. We had 67 there at Fremont and Big Rapids, and it was in the mid-60s at the Lake Michigan beaches. Picture there is the Holland Farmers Market. That was taken late morning. The crowd had diminished there just a little bit, but it was dry for a good portion of the day, so they had a chance to get out a little bit. Taking a look at our sunrise and sunset time for the day today. We're after 8 o'clock now on our sunrise, and that'll be the case until we get the time change here in November. Sunset time at 6:53. We're down to 10 hours and 52 minutes of daylight and decreasing daylight at the rate of about 3 minutes per day. Look at the average high temperature. We are now down to 59. So we were 71 on Saturday. That was way above average for this time of year. Record high is 80. We've never been warmer than 80 on this date, 1910 and 1920. And the coldest we've ever been on this date is 19 in 1974. Picture there shows a kiteboarder out there, and he was having a good old time there. Sometimes they stay behind the break wall because the waves aren't quite as big there. They still get the wind to deal with, but unless you're really experienced, you'd probably rather go on medium-sized waves than on the really big ones that they get sometimes. The lake forecast, a little different from what we've had. We've had a very calm period here in September and October. But that wind certainly picking up today, north to northwest. We could see gusts as high as 30 to 40 knots at Lake Michigan. A knot is 1.15 miles an hour. Waves could increase to 5 to 10 feet. So needless to say, probably a good day not to be on the break walls walking around out there. You can see the water temperatures, 58 at the Holland Channel, Reeds Lake Inland here at 64. Picture shows a big ship that was coming out of the channel here Saturday morning. Looks a little hazy there because it was still raining lightly, but despite the rain, the ships continue to move around here on the Great Lakes, and shipping continues here through the fall because there's no ice out there as of yet. Gale warnings on Lake Michigan, by the way, continue here today, and we'll have several days or more this week when we'll need small craft advisories. All right, we're going to take time out now and thank our sponsor, Ace Hardware Handyman.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We're just looking at Saturday's severe weather reports, and guess what? We had a severe weather report in Michigan. All those blue dots indicate where there was wind damage or strong winds over 58 miles an hour. Green dots are hail, 1 inch in diameter or greater, and red dots would be tornadoes. There were 2 reported tornadoes, but it was probably the same tornado, and it was very small and short-lived. So not that big a deal. That was down in near Hot Springs, Arkansas. But the 61-mile-an-hour gust there is a pretty strong gust. That was right along the Michigan-Indiana border at Sturgis, Michigan. Here's our severe weather outlook area for the day today. We've got 2 dark green areas, one from central Pennsylvania on down to northeastern Tennessee, and another one down in southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. There could be an isolated report of strong winds. The light green, including areas east of US 127 and southern lower Michigan, indicates there could be an isolated thunder shower. And then we move ahead here to Monday, and the Monday map shows a little bit of green over Michigan and a good portion of Wisconsin. The Storm Prediction Center says cooling aloft may be sufficient for isolated lightning flashes across parts of upper Michigan, or the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, which would include Michigan. And lakes may contribute to that just a touch because the lake water temperatures are still fairly warm for this time of year. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe an isolated flash of lightning here. That would be for Monday night late and into the early morning hours of Tuesday. Okay, let's move on here. Take a look at rainfall. Now, I want to caution you, this is a 66-hour rainfall map, but it covers Saturday night as well as Sunday, Monday. So some of this rain has already fallen across the area. And you can see there's two areas where there's some concentrated rain. The Pacific Northwest there, as you can see, Washington State's going to get quite a soaking. And here in Michigan, Indiana. Let's take a look, and we'll zoom in just a little bit here, show you the area. We've already had over an inch of rain at places. I think down near Kalamazoo, I saw one report of 1.31 inches of rain by 10 o'clock Saturday evening. So there's already been quite a bit of rain down there, and that orange area is areas that would see over 2 inches of rain. A little bit less as you go off to the north, but everybody's seeing some rain, and for most of us, this is quite a welcome rain. Wish we'd have gotten a little bit more earlier in the year. And let's take a look now at the tropics here, and we'll make this pretty quick. The Atlantic, very quiet, though there is one area. We're following a wave right where that X is right now, and then the area in orange is the area that we're watching that could be impacted by this. The Antilles Islands into the southern and southwest Caribbean there. And if this were to occur, I believe we're up to the letter M, which would be Melissa. And the odds that if it's in the orange color are about 40 to 60% of development within the next week. So within this week, there probably won't be much of anything happening, but beyond that, we may very well see development of a tropical storm. The water temperatures are still quite warm in the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. And you can hear my clock chiming here. We are. That's a clock that my father-in-law made. And he was an engineer and quite adept at woodworking and so many other things. But we have a number of different clocks around here, and including a very nice grandfather clock from Howard Miller. So we appreciate the work that they do down there, they have done over the years. All right, let's go to the Eastern Pacific. Yellow X means a 10 to 30% chance of development. The next tropical storm in this region will be called Sonia. And this one, if it does develop in that yellow area, will push away from Mexico and be no threat to land. Now we go on to the Western Pacific Ocean, and you can see two places that are marked. One, a tropical cyclone, which appears to have a nice eye to it. That is in the Indian Ocean, but not a threat to land at this point, moving very slowly. And then we have another system here that's called Fengshen. If I can read the map from here, Fengshen. And we'll have to keep an eye on that one a little bit. We do have a map that shows where Fengshen is going to be going, and it will be crossing the Philippine Islands near Manila, and then moving in kind of an arc. And if we take a look at that map here, we'll be able to show you that the arc, there it is, going across and then southwest down into Vietnam near Da Nang. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That would be a minimal hurricane or a strong tropical storm. So it would, there would be impacts, but this would not be a super major storm there. And all right, let's go back to local here for a second. The forecast for today. If you are north of Nuevo County, it may not get out of the upper 50s during the day. Mid 60s as you head off to the south. Winds are going to turn to the northwest with cooler air coming in. 15 to 25 miles an hour, probably be closer to the 15 during the early morning here. And the humidity could drop as low as 70% during the afternoon, but showers will be the rule. And a little climate note there, so far this year, precipitation in Grand Rapids has totaled 22.39 inches. That is nearly 10 inches below average, so that's quite a bit. we'll make up for that a little bit here during the morning with the rain that we are getting. High temperatures on the day today, quite variable. We'll take a look at the map and show you that if you're over toward Detroit, it will still make the mid 60s. Here in the Grand Rapids area, afternoon temperatures will be in the upper 50s. And if you head up toward the UP, there's a little blue showing up where temperatures here could actually be in the upper 40s much of the afternoon. So certainly some cooler air moving in. And we move ahead to Monday, and we'll be able to show you that we'll be seeing a pretty nice day. I think low 60s here, so not too far from average. Average high again, 59. You can see temperatures warm up a few degrees up there in the UP, but with some sunshine, it should be it could be the nicest day of the week to be outside, but it will not be as warm as we have been with temperatures in the afternoon struggling to reach the low 60s. 5-day forecast looks like this, and there's a lot of raindrops on there. The best day out of the bunch is to be outside is going to be Monday. Showers are quite likely today and fairly likely here on Tuesday, though rainfall amounts will be lighter than today. We're still at 70% Wednesday and then 50% on Thursday. And look at those high temperatures, only in the low 50s here, Wednesday and Thursday. So certainly cooler weather, time to break out the jackets and sweaters and sweatshirts. 8 to 14-day outlook has been very consistent at keeping us warmer than average. Now, keep in mind the averages are now in the 50s. So if we're warmer than average, it could be like low to mid 60s here, which would be very pleasant. Cooler than average weather and fairly wet weather in the Pacific Northwest into the western United States. And we'll take a look at the rainfall map, and that's in the green again. So that gives us a little above average rainfall here, below average down in Texas and New Mexico. So all in all, again, kind of a wet day out there. Keep the umbrella handy. Well, daughter number 3 is not with us because she is in Greece, and this is a picture she sent to us of a number of boats. They are in Rhodes, Greece, which is really an amazing place. The average high temperature in Rhodes, Greece at this time of year is in the mid 70s. Some days are in the mid to upper 70s. So it's still very pleasant. The water temperatures are warm. An average high temperature in July there is 87. And an average high temperature in January is about 60. So if you want a place where it doesn't get too terribly cold, it is never at the airport at Rhodes, it has never been below freezing. 34 is the lowest temperature they've ever had. And you can see a lot of people there with boats enjoying the water. The water is fairly calm. We have another picture from Michelle to share with you. And this shows, the first thing I was attracted to was the clouds. There's some mountain effects there where the wind has to climb over the mountains, and it's producing some clouds there, as you can see, some beautiful puffy clouds. But yeah, and you can see it's a fairly dry environment here during a portion of the year where you're not getting a lot of thick vegetation on the hills. But they took a really nice boat ride out there today in Rhodes, and they've been enjoying their trip, having come from London, and we'll follow them. If you watch the next couple of days, you'll be able to see where they're going next. And it could be interesting. Sometimes they don't know where they're going next because they fly American Airlines and then they take seats that are empty. So they have to find a plane that's got empty seats. So it's a very adventurous. Okay, let's go on to the next slide right now. This is, again, from daughter number 3. We're looking out over the Mediterranean Sea, I bet. Rhodes is an island. If you are familiar with your ancient history, the Colossus of Rhodes was one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world, along with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the lighthouse at Alexandria. And anyhow, a very, very pleasant day I had there on the water. All right, we have a couple more pictures to share with you here. This is from John Scully, and some logs that are set up there. A beautiful sunshiny day. Note the leaves are still fairly green, especially at the lakeshore here, but you can watch the fall color change advance at a more rapid rate here this week as we get the colder and cloudier pattern that we have here. That's a neat picture, and we have one more picture to share with you here, and this is from John Doherty. This is up in Benzie County, and I believe this is up near where the Sleeping Bear Dunes is. It's really nice, framed with the trees and bushes there in the foreground and the background showing the sandy dunes up in that area. Beautiful sunshiny day. So that was not today. not Saturday, but we thank John for those beautiful pictures. And boy, what a nice fall we've had so far this year in terms of getting out and enjoying time. My wife and her two sisters went up around M22 for a couple of days and really enjoyed their trip up there. Well, I think we're done for the day. I hope you stay dry today and make it a great day. Thanks so much for joining my little show here and staying with us until the end.